Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tech Sharmit podcast. Today I'm here with another special guest, Ashwini Harle, who is joining us from Maharashtra, India. If I talk about Ashwini, then he is a tech expert who is consistently contributing for the IT industry and currently serving at Amazon. She completed her study from electronics and communication engineering, and now she built a successful career at Amazon. And also she takes the role of leadership in technology space. Along the way, she has made an impact, not just through her work but also by sharing the valuable insights on career, engineering, and real world challenges in tech. So, today in this episode, we are going to talk about her journey and her advice for the new um, freshers who want to take the leadership role at such tech giants like Amazon, Google, and other fields. But before we proceed further, I would like to thank Ashwini for joining us today in this episode. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us a bit about yourself.
Yeah. Hi, Amit. Yeah, you have covered almost everything, but yeah, I'll start. So, again, myself, Ashwini Harle, a software development engineer at Amazon, and I do generally work on high scale backend systems, and I really enjoy sharing what I've learned along the way, whether it's technology, leadership, or personal growth. So, yeah, actually, I'm also super glad here to be and yeah, excited to share my journey and experiences with you in this video. So yeah, we can
Okay.
start.
Yeah. So, Ashwini, like we all know about your leadership advocacy activities, the kind of contribution that you are doing for the IT industry. But I just want to know about the initial days, because we all know that you completed your education, your graduation with electronics and communication engineering. So, did you
Mhm.
ever imagine that you would end up coding at Amazon instead of working with the circuits and those typical electronic and communication related things?
Yeah. So, okay, good question. Like, really great question. Like, most of I heard this queries like from most of the people I interact with on like LinkedIn. So, yeah, actually, in my college, like, we have only three branches. We had only three branches: CS, IT, and ENTC. So, honestly, like, there majority of students were already focused on coding itself. And personally, I've never really thought that I'll be working with circuits because my interest was in coding like back 11th 12th standard itself. So yeah, that part I was clear of. And of course, being an ENTC student means I had to put little extra effort, because since the subject like OOP, then DBMS and others were already as part of CS curriculum but not in ours. So I used to learn that I used to do coding before my college classes, and after, like, I used to find some separate time and used to do. And trust me, like, when I come to Amazon, right, I met so many people even from non-tech backgrounds. So I could see some civil engineers around there and who are like really doing great in their careers. So yeah, to the student listening here, your branch like never really stop you if you're truly into coding, and like that's your passion and that's your love. So yeah, but apart from that, I have heard from most of the people, like, in colleges, like some companies they won't prefer ENTC students, right? So like this is
Mhm.
the most common question I get, and like answer to that would be yeah, that has happened to my to me at me as well. So what I used to do is, whenever some company came and they were not allowing to allowing an ENTC student to sit, so I used to go off campus with the referral. I used to apply there. So
Okay.
yeah, that doesn't I mean guarantee like 100% that you would be shortlisted, but yeah, it's just one of the way to get an opportunity. Yeah, and when you look at some MNC's company, like for example Google, Microsoft, Amazon, they don't really care about your branch. Like what matters to them is your skills and your problem solving ability. So yeah, I
Okay.
could.
So I think
That was.
that is a great piece of advice you just shared, that if someone is from other background, not from the computer science background, so they might get face some challenges, like they will not be allowed to sit in the placement drive which is conducted by the colleges, but there are opportunity they can directly apply through off campus drives and through reference, so that could be managed by applying through the off campus. And later on, like when you are allowed for the interview, then what matters most is your skill set. So that is the thing that
Hmm.
everyone should focus upon. And any other particular skill that is needed, like we know that coding skill is something that really needed. Apart from this, if you think like communication or any other particular thing that you found that yes, it is something that is really required for applying for the MNC companies.
Yeah. So, like, to this question, I'd like to answer. So, what has happened to one of my friend is like he have cleared all of the rounds, like all three rounds, but the
Okay.
final one with the HR. So there he got rejected, and the reason was that he didn't communicated well, he was not
Okay.
aware of what company was doing. So yeah, before like coding is not the only part, but we should also get to know about what company do, what are their principle, what is their business impact. So that all thing is also needed, but yeah, second, that is, I mean, at a second priority, first one is coding itself, like
Okay,
that
yeah.
like.
And that is the thing that I also found, that usually students what they do, like from the JD they just focus on the email and contact details and they directly apply it to that particular
Mhm.
organization instead of reading about the job description and to know more about the company. So that is the also thing that anyone can follow in order to apply and get the better result. All
Right,
right.
right.
So moving ahead, like Shuni, I just want to know a bit more about yourself. We all know about your titles, your achievements, your position, your contributions. But let's say if someone stalks your LinkedIn today, uh, we all know that there are some things related to Amazon, leadership roles, content, and achievements. But what do you think? Like, what's the one part of your journey that nobody knows but had impacted your entire journey, maybe through your academics days or through your professional career days?
Mhm. Yeah, okay. Okay, so that's a good question again. Just give me a minute to think on it, maybe.
Yeah.
Uh, I could actually, yeah, yeah, I'm able to recall. So back in September 2021, I
Mm-hmm.
have received my first on-campus placement, and I was like fully relieved at that moment. Ki, that's it, I'm
Mm-hmm.
done now. So, and at that time, like all of my friends were also placed too. So we were enjoying ourselves. We were roaming out. We were like doing what we already wanted to, initially wanted to. So, and I have stopped applying elsewhere. Like at that time, we have this common mentality. Then but after a few months, everything turned upside down. Like I got to know the company have revoked the offer. It didn't happen only with me, but like all of the students who were placed in that ex company, the job offers were revoked.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that phase was really tough for me. I mean, that self doubt was crushing, and I was just asking myself why me, and watching at that time, like watching your peer moving ahead, and you would have to start from the scratch, like start again. So at that time, it had created a lot of anxiety, and at that moment, peer pressure is real. I mean,
Right.
that was also one of the thing. But yeah, so I'd like to say that setback had become turning point of my life. I mean, at that time, at that moment, I have given myself two choices to either like spend month worrying, crying, or thinking, or just start studying at that right moment without wasting a second. And yeah, I've obviously choose the second one. So within next 3 or 4 months, I was able, like I was being consistent, and I've shown some urgent effort. And yeah, I had three job offers later, with one of them including Amazon. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but more importantly, all these three offers have gave me back my confidence what I have lost during that time. So yeah, I think this story, and um just like one job revoke had pushed me a lot and led me where I am today.
We can clearly see that your journey is quite inspiring because studying from a different background and then go for the interviews for the computer science particular field, and then
Mhm.
also these kind of challenges like getting the offer and then it was revoked. So challenges were there, but I think that is we call the mindset, because you take care of all those challenges you and obstacles, and you come up and perform whatever is best for that time. And that is the
Mhm.
reason like you got the opportunity to work with Amazon, which is, I would say that it's a everyone's dream company, right? Everyone wants to work there.
Mhm.
But here I want to ask one more question regarding the Amazon only, or maybe you can take it as a in a generic way, like in a any particular MNC company. So
Mhm.
you have exposure on this area. So what one thing about working there that looks super fancy from the outside, but it is totally different when you are working inside with the team and with that environment. So did you find anything like that, which is like for which there is a hype in the market, but if you talk about the reality, it is completely different.
Mm, yeah, so on that, yeah, I would agree. Like everyone's dream is like working in this, you can say, mang. And yeah, from outside, it looks really fancy, and that brand name and recognition you'll get. I was also thinking the same, like, wow, this is it. Those were my thoughts.
Mhm.
But like once you get inside, you realize that real value isn't the tag or the perks. So it's a culture of ownership and the pace at which you work and you grow. So you will be consistently challenged. You will be solving problem at scales, and that will push you to become a better version of yourself. So yeah, for example, here even a fresher, you will see. You want to see him as a real owner. I mean, you
Mhm.
will give the task. You will, so he'll come as a real owner. You are not treated like just an another resource in a big company. The
Mhm.
work you do there actually would impact customer, and that's the level of trust. Like, if I mean, yeah, it is like both way. It could be
Okay.
exciting and little scary as well. But yeah, that's what accelerate you learning. Of course, like there would be challenges, but those are the days that shape you the most. Like you learn to work with incredibly smart colleagues, deal with problem at scale, and stretch yourself beyond your comfort zone. So from yes, like from outside, people see Amazon tag and it look fancy, but from inside, it's even more rewarding because you are consistently growing, learning, and realizing
Right.
you can handle bigger things than you have ever imagined. So yeah, that I think that would sum up.
Okay. So I would say to all the fresher that yes, it's a great opportunity to work with any of the MNC company, but in the back of the mind, make it very clear that it doesn't matter where you are working, it's in a startup or in a MNC company or somewhere. At the end, what is going to help you is your skill set, because if you don't know, if you don't have that commands on your skill or the technology that you are working with, then someday like you will face the challenges and the obstacles. But if you have good command on technical skills, the business logic and all these kinds of stuff, then it is very easy for you to work in any of the organization, because that is the time that will teach you. When you start working with any particular organization, slowly you adopt those cultures and their work ethics, and likewise it will proceed further.
Sure.
So always focus on the skill set. All right, so now we will talk a bit about the project, because among your multiple projects I noticed that there was one project in I think Amazon itself, where you reduce the API load by 99%. So that's a huge number. So just tell us like what was the most stressful bug, or I would say the late night fire drill you faced while developing that kind of product, which is where the API load is around 99%. So how was your that day?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it was one of the most stressful moment I've ever faced, and it was during my on-call rotation itself. Like when a critical service was down. So like the kind of
Yes.
pain and that pager alerts make you skip a beat. So yeah, the I will not go into much technicalities, but
Mhm.
like. on a high level, like what should be the process in such situations, and like how to handle, like maybe if it can help someone. But yeah, at that moment the first thing I do was a triage. Like I was checking logs, I was checking metrics dashboard to just figure out what went wrong, and then it was checking which region was affected. So once I identified that thing, we just focused on bleeding, I mean stopping the bleeding, like
Okay.
with some quick mitigation so that it won't impact customer. Yeah,
Hmm.
and followed by that, we did a safe fix, like may come in form of a rollback or some configuration change. Yeah, and then once the system was stabilized, like documenting it is also a major part, I could say. I
Right.
mean, so that like we maintain a run book where we will be we used, or like we are documenting it so that team can avoid this in future. Yeah,
Hmm.
so summarizing this, it was intense, no doubt, but then there's something satisfying as well, like when you when you just calmly own that incident and then see your system recover, like almost turning at potential disaster into a win. So that kind of satisfaction also will get. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, like when we solve a problem, then once it is solved, then it also build a
Mm.
confidence that next time if we got similar kind of situation,
Right.
we know how to cope up with it. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
great thing. Okay, so we talked about your work with Amazon and your initial days when you started preparing for yourself with a computer science background. So now let's talk bit about your another contribution as a as a vice president of EDC in college. So, how was
Mm-hmm.
your experience with that role? And what you think,
Mm-hmm.
like, what's harder for you, like handling the engineers at Amazon or working with or handling the students in the college?
Okay. Yeah. So, hmm yeah. So, being a vice president at Entrepreneurship Development Cell, that is EDC, that was
EDC.
an amazing experience, I could say. So, I got to organize events, then coordinate with multiple teams and sponsors, and then I have to make sure that everything runs smoothly, like from workshops to competition. And
Mm-hmm.
it have taught me a lot of things about, I can if I could summarize, it would be communication and then handling unexpected challenges as well. So to your question on like what's harder, right? So
Right.
mm, yeah, honestly both, like both are challenging in their own ways. So when it comes to when it comes to handling student and college events, that requires patience, motivation, and then coordination, because their people are learning and experimenting. But
Right.
in other case, like handling engineers at Amazon, that is different. There we deal with high stakes, with fast paced technology, with, and there the result matter at scale. So
Mm-hmm.
the difference is in college, I could say people listen because it's of their enthusiasm, like we
Right.
need to do something new, yeah, we want to contribute, yeah, that's okay. But when it come to Amazon, it is like people will listen to you only if you have data and only if you have logic.
Correct.
That's one thing. So yeah, I would say EDC was my first real test of what leadership looks like, and definitely it have prepared me for the kind of responsibility of I'm handling today.
Yeah, and I think this is a great way to learn about to deal with different peoples, because when you are into
Mm-hmm.
college, maybe you can participate in these kind of activities. So it will give you the real world scenarios, like how to deal with or how to work in a team, interact
Hmm.
and deliver like what you want to deliver it. So that is a great
Right.
way to learn. And later on, like when you are in actually working on and in any of the MNC company, then you have that knowledge like how to talk, how to communicate, and it will help
Hmm.
in a longer way.
Yeah, and it really helps. Like here, going here, like in some meeting where you have to speak, where you have to tell people like what you have did, what you have
Right.
achieved. In those aspects, like this would help, like for sure.
I agree. Okay, so now like coming back to that point, like where you mentioned about the college placement. We just talked that if you are not getting the opportunity in college placement drive, you can go for the off-campus drives and other ways to apply the jobs, like through LinkedIn platforms or any such platforms. So one common thing like we've usually notice from students and from the IT folks that their application got rejected from the applicant uh, tracking system. And in one of
Mhm.
your posts also you mentioned that ATS doesn't auto reject. So what do you think, like what's the common misconception people have about the applicant tracking system, and what concrete changes can someone make to their resume so that it actually passes through at least the ATS filters and they will get the opportunity to look other further rounds.
Okay. Yeah. So a lot of people think like ATS would reject their resume if you don't meet some hidden criteria. So
Mhm.
that's actually a myth. Like ATS doesn't reject you, it will organize your application. So
Okay.
the danger is invisibility. So if your resume isn't properly formatted or it doesn't contain some right keyword, then it might never make to the recruiter. And
Okay.
that's different from rejection, and honestly, it's worse.
Hmm.
So what does, I mean, then what actually ATS would do? So it will pull out the key details like your name, skills, experience, and then let recruiter filter the application using keywords or the job requirements they are looking for. And then it would rank the candidate based on how closely they match that job description.
Okay.
So it is basically a tool which would only help to manage that high volume of resume. It's not a judge who would judge your abilities. So what often causes a resume to get ignored isn't that ATS,
Okay.
it is the formatting and content. For example, like missing keywords, generic job titles, then people do add visuals, tables, graphs, and then some font, like some advanced fonts, unusual fonts that can break the parsing. So over designed template that look good visually, but it is unreadable by the system,
Right.
making it like harder for recruiters to see your experience. So to your question, like to how to get past this in
Mhm.
ATS, you need to keep your resume simple, structured, like use clear formatting and
Okay.
stick to the standard sections, like standard section as in experience, education, skills, and you have to tailor it based on the job description. Like people do get lazy here and then think, why should I filter it, why should I modify it multiple times, but that laziness can cost you a lot. So yeah, and again, I could add like avoid avoid tables, text boxes, and
Okay.
try to save it as a PDF or docs
Mhm.
unless the posting says otherwise. So better your resume parses, the higher the chances a recruiter actually sees it.
Okay.
That's what.
Okay, so we can summarize it in a way. Suppose there is a candidate who is applying for machine learning course. So in that
Mm-hmm.
case, make sure that there are proper keywords in your resume, because if you are not utilizing the term machine learning as it is, then there is very less chance to get select through the filters, because at the end it is a technology, right? It's a tool, so it will just look for that keyword. If that machine learning term is there in your resume, then there is a chance to get selected. And this is just an example. All like the maybe you are applying for Java job or anything, make sure that you put all the relevant keywords. And I think nowadays everyone knows about the SEO through Instagram, YouTube, so they know like what are the keywords and how to put it. So same goes with the resume also.
Right,
Okay.
right. Yeah, and like sitting on the other side of table, like when was interviewing people, I used to
Mhm.
check their resume one day before, and I could see like people were using too much advanced fonts,
Right.
and like yeah, that would really lead a bad impression to the interviewer, and they will just make some preconception about that person, about so yeah. But yeah, ideally, interviewer would not take that preconception and judge on that basis. But yeah, just telling that could.
Yes. In fact, like I also noticed in one of the like when I was in an interview panel, I found that someone prepared the CV directly to the chat GPT, and they just copy pasted
Yeah,
it,
those,
and
those
there
all
were some
emojis
placeholders.
and
Yeah, right.
yeah. Okay.
So actually there were some placeholder that put your name there,
Oh,
and so
okay,
he
that
don't.
too.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
People being
although
too
like
lazy.
that candidate was very good with the technical skill set, so it
Uh,
was proceeded further. But yeah, we just
hmm.
let them know that yes, this is something that you copied, and we already figured it out. But yeah, later
Yeah.
it goes. But just make sure that if you're copying it also, make sure to edit it properly. And if you have a skill set, then you can make these kind of cosmetic changes if
Exactly.
required. Okay.
Right.
All right. So other thing, like as we are talking about the interviews, so other thing regarding the interview is DSA, because nowadays you can see on Instagram also there are lots of memes and reels regarding DSA. So in
Yeah.
one of your posts, like usually people say that go and completely prepare for the DSA, but in one of your posts you mention that why DSA won't prepare you for the real world engineering, and that's a proactive.
Correct.
So, what's the one DSM myth you want to absolutely debunk here? And how do you learn the hard way that it doesn't work in the practice? So, what's your thought on the DSA part?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I could say one DSA myth that I want to really bust is the idea that mastering DSA is like that will fully prepare you for the real world
Mhm.
engineering. Sure, like DSA will help you get through the interview, but that's really just an entry ticket.
Okay.
So when I joined Amazon, like I got a real check. Like suddenly, it wasn't about solving problems. It wasn't about having that isolated thing, getting isolated and solving the problems. It was about like building systems from scratch that could actually scale, like
Okay.
handle million of users, staying up even when there's little part of it getting failed. So being reliable under pressure and doing all of this without following up on the cost,
Mm-hmm.
without blowing up the cost.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I've discovered the power of system design. And let me tell you that if it's not some fancy buzzword or only to be used by the senior engineer, it's a mindset shift, I could say.
Okay.
So it taught me how to take messy vague requirement and then turn them into some scalable components, think ahead about failure and latency, balance cost and performance, and communicate effectively with the team. So
Okay.
basically it made me stop thinking like a developer who just write code that works and start thinking like a builder who creates system and that would last. So honestly, if I could go back to college, and I would focus on system design as much as I did DSA. So yeah, it would have my transition into, like, it would really help me with my transition into real world engineering so much smoother.
Right.
So,
And yeah, I'm also agree here because once you are into your job, like maybe you can start with Java or whatever programming language is preferred to you. But after some time, like developer feel that programming language is just a thing that can be learned anywhere anytime, right? Syntaxes and some things are almost similar, but what makes you the expert is the business logic. If you have the good exposure on that business logic, and if you have that mentality to ask the right question to your client, that yes, if you are building this product, then this should be maybe you can propose a solution for that also. So if you have that kind of experience, then you can work with any technology. It doesn't matter like if you are working with Java, Python, because syntaxes can be learned in a way. And when we are in college, like we usually prefer to learn the syntaxes and to write the code and all these things, but this is
hmm,
something that you will learn when you are into the job and exploring the further things.
correct. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk a bit about your personal journey and your life. So, if you had to sum up your growth journey in one sentence that could go viral as a LinkedIn caption, so what do you think? What it would be?
Okay. So, yeah, it would be like the lesson I learned after my first placement.
Mm-hmm.
It could be something like a revoked job, a revoked offer reminded me it's not the setback, but
Okay.
the bounce back. I mean, that bounce back will define your journey. So that would be one, like in a single sentence, if I could sum up.
Okay. Yeah, and I think this perfectly suits to your journey also, because the way you have debunk all those myths, because there are myths that yeah, if you are from a non-technical background or non-computer science background, then there is a difficulty in getting the job, but you proved it completely wrong. You started from different domain and acquired the job at one of the famous MNC. Okay, so now another thing, in a way that suppose you have if you had to write a letter to your younger self, one that young Ashwini will would actually listen to. So what piece of advice would you like to share there in that letter?
Hmm. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, if I were writing a letter to my younger self, I would say, don't settle. Like, understand your potential and aim higher than what you think you can.
Okay.
Like, so this I have experienced personally, and yeah, I'll just say like that would be one thing. Second would be like, when the tough thing happens to you, welcome them. They are happening to you because you are strong enough to handle them. Like, instead of being emotional, being crying, overthinking, anxiety, like, just leave those all apart and just be strong, come strong, and
Okay.
don't just overthink on any other thing. And then third would be like, appreciate and stay close to the people who care about you, and most importantly, always believe in yourself. So yeah, these three key learnings I'll tell
Okay.
to
Yeah, I
Gashwini.
think this is something that anyone can implement in their life in order to achieve something, because this is something that is so much generic, not only for a particular person, because these are some set of rules that will help you to encourage and to acquire the right thing that you wanted to acquire. So that's a great thing. Okay, so fine. Although like there are plenty of things that we can discuss here in this podcast, but we have limited time, so I just would like to ask my last question. And this
Okay.
question is related to the support of network, because we all know that behind every successful person, there is some support of network. So for you, who were those key people who helped you to become the person and leader you are today?
Yeah, firstly, I'm not successful. Like, I don't consider it. There is more to achieve here. But yeah, honestly, the biggest support in my journey has been the people closest to me. I mean, they have made, they have been my safe space throughout everything, like celebrating my wins, comforting me when I felt like giving up, and then they were quietly reminding me of when I what's my worth when I couldn't see it by myself.
Mhm.
So I could be completely honest with them, share my fears, and never was getting worried about like how of being judged. So yeah, even in my lowest time, just knowing that they are there, believing me, believing in me, standing by my side, that had made all the difference. So yeah, their support didn't just help me through the challenge, but it gave me strength of like again dreaming, again keep pushing myself, and again growing. So yeah, along the way, my mentors and teachers also made a huge difference in me. Like they're guiding and then sharing their own experiences and like helping me grow personally and professionally both. So yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be the same person I am today without the combination of love, guidance, and encouragement I got from them.
Okay. All right. So yeah, thank you so much, Ashwini, for joining us in this podcast and for sharing so much information regarding the MNC work culture and your contributions also. So it was really very nice talking with you. So thank you once again for being a part of the show.
Yeah, really, really glad. Like, thanks for inviting me here.
Thank you.